to our next story here, and I believe we are at seven. Okay. Um, and so in speaking of all these sort of like reopenings, and this is kind of our coronavirus roundup. California just kind of announced that they're going to that they laid out some measures to restart production on films and TV shows. Or TV content, I guess. So let me give you some info here from Deadline. So our California Governor Gavin Newsom released on Friday his long-awaited guidelines for restarting film and TV production in the state amid the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The California Department of Public Health released guidance as follows: music, TV, and film production may resume in California, recommended no sooner than June 12th, 2020, and subject to approval by county public health officers within the jurisdiction of operations following their review of local epidemiological epidemic whoa. How do you say this? Epidemiological. That's okay. Data.
Yeah, I don't know. Good for you for trying.
Hey, look, I'd never quit unless it's Madden and somebody's beating me really bad. Data including cases per 100,000 population, rate of test positivity, and the local preparedness to support a healthcare surge. Vulnerable populations contact tracing and testing to reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission. Productions, cast and crew, and other industry workers would should abide by safety protocols agreed by labor and management, which may further enhanced by county public health officers. Back office staff and management should adhere to office workspace guidelines published by the California Department of Public Health and California Department of Industrial Relations to reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission. Holy shit, that was a mouthful. Okay, long story short, people can get back the fuck to work with productions. So yeah, I think it is around that time where we can start to think of like, okay, well, what's the best and reasonable way to try to start reopening some of these things? What's going to be the critical factor in all this is oversight, that you're going to actually need to check to see if people are adhering to these protocols. Because if you're not, then everybody's just going to try to get away with whatever the fuck they're going to get away with. And we're going to end up in a worse situation than we started in, because shit's going to spread like wildfire. And also, nobody's going to want to re-shut down anything. So we're going to be in a fucking catastrophe if um, if there aren't protocols put in place to actually check up on um, what people are actually doing. So yeah, what do you think?
No, yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Oversight is going to be like absolutely important, and I mean, you have to give the people who are going to be like leading the oversight of whether it's it could be something as simple as like a movie production, or it could even just be like a bar or restaurant. The people who are going to be in charge of doing that oversight to make sure people are following the rules, they're going to need to be like given like some type of authority and decision making power, or people are just going to say, fuck it, right? I'm not going to listen to those rules. Like, so on a production set, right? If they're filming like a TV show or a movie, everybody should have to follow the rules, because like the second that one or two people don't, that's when that's going to throw everything off track. I'm just like thinking here, if you're shooting a scene in a movie, right, there should be no one allowed on set who hasn't had their temperature checked. Um, you know, Clean hands. I'm not sure if they're going to be like requiring everyone not in front of the camera to be wearing a mask and gloves. Um, but whatever those protocols are, someone is going to have to be on top of that. Because the second you give, like, let's say the director of the movie, if that person is in charge of like safety and protocol, that person to have so much other things on their plate, more than likely some of the things are going to fall through the cracks, right? And when anything falls through the cracks, that's when we're going to see or we're likely to see infections start to increase, and then we got to shut down production again.
Yeah, that's why this article is so interesting, because as they kind of allude to in the article from Deadline, they allude to the fact that this, what they were saying, which was that productions, cast and crew, and other industry workers should be able to should abide by safety protocols agreed by labor and management, which may be further enhanced by county public health officers. So basically, what they're basically saying is it's up to the productions to to adhere to these rules and protocols. But that puts the establishment, as the article says, that puts the establishment of the actual protocols in the hands of producers and guilds and possibly local health officials. Now, that last part is where I think it should just begin and end, right? It should put those protocols in the hands of the health officials, and obviously that would be a massive undertaking, but I think it would be
Yeah.
completely like necessary in order to like actually like have shit actually work out, and also too, it's like it's kind of to help the productions, like to protect them against themselves, because you're absolutely right that if it were up to like the directors and shit, they're like, press forward. What's that? The person's dying from COVID-19 who's been on our set for the last two
Yeah.
weeks. What are you gonna do?
Shoot it again.
Take 45. And so yeah, I think that they should put it in the hands of the health officials, because one would think that they would be the most sort of impartial in it all and can kind of call strikes and balls. Using a baseball reference.
Yeah. But like you said, that's a massive undertaking, right? It's going to require a lot of like manpower and resources for, a state or local health official to be on site for every production that's happening, right? On each day of shooting, with all the thousands of projects that are going on and on any given day in a city like LA. So I don't know how they get it done, but I could see a lot of things falling through the cracks if you leave it up to the people who are part of the production, right? If I had the job of being responsible for safety and health protocols on a shoot, where like let's say a big Hollywood director like James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, right? Like, if I'm the safety and protocol person on a Martin Scorsese film,
yeah, you tell Marty you're gonna shut that shit down.
yeah,
all right.
and then he wants to shoot the scene, and I'm like, sorry, Mr. Scorsese, but how do you do that, right? As
you do it like Chris Rock used to say. You're like like anything whispered ain't getting done. So if you go up to your girlfriend, your wife, or them, like, excuse me, can we have some sex, or can you give me some
with the
head?
point on, like, excuse me, can we check everybody here just to make sure we're all following safety protocol? Scorsese's like, no, get the fuck away from me. There's nothing you can really do about that. And then like the next day you get fired and they just replace you with somebody who will do what like the director on set wants you to do. So it's like, I don't know what the right answer for that is.
Yeah, again, it's by removing the oversight from the actual production, and again, it's a tough spot to be in. I don't know if there's a right answer, but I know that there's going to be issues either way, and so this is this is kind of the direction which they want to go in, and we'll see in due time if it works out. But with that being said, we'll jump forward here.